Coming up on Channel 8 News. There are cars in Manhattan that shouldn't be on the road. The Greeks count on the odds being forever in their favor, and ESPN comes to Manhattan.
International Week, a closer look at college drinking and a visit from our friends at the Sunset Zoo.
It's finally starting to feel like spring around Manhattan, and we're hoping it's here to stay.
Let's head outside for a look at weather with Lindsay McNary.
Good morning, Manhattan. Like Nick said, my name is Lindsay McNary, and I am playing Weather Girl today. I hope you guys are enjoying the wonderful spring weather. And if you're stuck inside working, it is gorgeous outside if you didn't know. But is it going to hold up? Stay tuned, and I'll show you what it's going to look like later on through the week. Coming up.
Late News, KKSU LP. For Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University, this is Channel 8 News.
And welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Nick Wall.
And I'm Sean Fry.
Kansas Supreme Court ruled on March 7th that Kansas legislature had to provide equitable funding to Kansas public schools. On April 4th, the state legislature approved a bill for $126 million to satisfy the court's ruling. However, the bill also proposes that teachers could be stripped to their right to due process hearing before being terminated. This bill is currently awaiting Brownback's signature before becoming law.
Clay Center resident Don Collette died after a head-on collision on K-16. Collette was driving westbound on K-16 when he crossed into the eastbound lane and struck 65-year-old Timothy Taylor of Trimble, Missouri. Taylor did not report any injuries. However, his wife was transported to a local hospital. The accident is still under investigation.
On April 4th, a search warrant was issued executed in Junction City in the 500 block of South Franklin Street. Marcel McGill and Cody T. Jodge, both of Junction City, were charged with possession of methamphetamines with intent to distribute, no Kansas drug tax stamp, felony possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
General Motors has recently had to recall millions of vehicles nationwide.
This is sure to affect several Manhattan drivers.
Our reporter Lance Leonard is here with us to tell us more.
Thanks, guys. This is one of the largest recalls in American auto history, but it comes down to you, your keys, and your car.
This is how millions of Americans get anywhere. Work, school, or 7-Eleven.
I should probably get it fixed sooner than later.
On March 31st, General Motors issued a recall on millions of its vehicles, including the Pontiac G5 and the Chevy Cobalt, which Ellen Collingwood of K-State happens to drive.
Just kind of with school, I'm honestly probably going to wait until kind of after finals week. Once the summer starts, I'll have kind of an opportunity to not need to use my car every single day, so I can drop it off at the dealership and keep it there for a while.
The vehicles are being recalled due to a problem with the ignition switch, which results in a loss of electrical power and can shut off the engine.
I have had the ignition kind of go out twice, and that put a big kind of dent in my week. It took a long time. I had to actually go to the dealership to get it fixed.
GM has advised people to remove any additional accessories attached to the keyring, such as lucky rabbit feet or additional keys. GM intends to amend the problem. They will be contacting those affected by the recall to set up a time to repair the vehicle free of charge.
And so it has caused a few problems, but it hasn't affected how safe I feel in it.
When asked if the vehicles are safe to drive, GM responded by saying that if you remove all accessories from the keyring, that your vehicle should not be affected.
Wow, that sure seems like it could cause a lot of problems.
It really does, Nick. Now, Lance, how long is it going to take for GM to fix this mess?
It's a really good question. Due to the size of the recall, like to how many cars are affected, no one's really sure, but they're expected sometime in the near future. But if you're really concerned, you can go and ask your local GM dealer.
Thanks, Lance.
This past weekend, Riley County Police Department issued 11 alcohol-related citations. 8 of those were issued to minors. The charges included minor in possession of alcohol, minor in consumption of alcohol, and furnishing alcohol to a minor.
Binge drinking is something that many incoming freshmen look forward to. And although it's embedded as part of the college experience, some of the students regret the repercussions of it. Channel 8 reporter Katie Watkins takes an in-depth look at the drinking culture of students here in Manhattan.
In light of the tragic death of Manhattan High School graduate Naomi McClendon, Channel 8 takes a sobering look at the issue of young adults and college drinking. As many freshmen leave home for the first time, they're faced with the dilemma of joining their friends and drinking or hitting the books.
Liquor, beer, and more alcohol. Binge drinking has become a major part of the college culture.
A normal Friday night was half the time we wouldn't go to class. Friday morning, most of us either had maybe 1 or 2 classes. We pretty much would skip it because we'd be hungover from Thursday. And Friday, we'd usually start drinking around noon, maybe 1 o'clock if we were really hungover from the day before. And we'd pretty much go until, 5 o'clock in the morning.
I drink a lot. Well, I guess not that much, probably every weekend. Didn't really know when to stop, so it usually ended with me puking.
Many freshmen find themselves indulging in the typical college experiences, like their first frat party.
A lot of friends that got taken advantage of and stuff. I don't know, they'd make them feel special and get them to come to a frat party and then get them super drunk, and I don't know, sometimes they would come home, sometimes they wouldn't.
Hannah Katzenmeyer says she has better control of her drinking now, but as the college years roll by, the drinking experiences can become more severe.
Drank a lot more than I normally had, and so I got back and I took some of my prescription meds to try and calm me down, and which are not to be mixed with alcohol under any circumstance. And I ended up blacking out, and I woke up the next morning with a whole bunch of stuff in my room, thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Jacob Baker was arrested for stealing a car and thousands of dollars worth of property, and has no memory of doing it. He spent 1 day in jail and was placed on probation.
Anytime I drank, I was open to pretty much doing anything else along with it, just to feel better, or not really feel better, just to make it feel more awesome at the time, even though I felt worse the next day every time it happened, but still didn't defer me. I was definitely addicted.
It took Baker a while to realize the penalties could have been more severe. He's graduating next May, and he has a fiance and a child. He knows he can no longer be the college party animal anymore. He has to take care of the future.
I'm joined now by Kansas State University Police Department's Captain Don Stubbings. Captain Don, thank you for being here and really bringing light to this issue. I'm going to jump right in it. What are some behavioral patterns that you see with incoming freshman students?
In terms of the drinking,
Yes.
A lot of times when an incoming student comes into campus, they're not experienced drinkers, so they get into the binge drinking atmosphere, and sometimes those things can be very dangerous.
Absolutely. And what goes on in the dorms? You know, is alcohol, are there a lot of alcohol issues with the freshmen in the dorms?
The dorms have strict alcohol policies. Of course, under 21, there's zero alcohol allowed in the dorms. The resident hall staff and the police department work together as a team to try to curb the underage drinking within the residence halls.
Okay, situation scenario. You're at a party, you know, you've got your beer and you've got your liquor and your shots, but then you've got that unidentified cooler, commonly referred to as jungle juice. What are the misconceptions with mixed drinks?
Well, I think with beer and then with a shot of alcohol, you know what that measurement of alcohol is, a 12-ounce beer or a 1.5-ounce shot of alcohol. With a mixed drink, whether it be what you call jungle juice or any punch or any mixed drink for that matter, when someone doesn't pour it yourself, you don't know the amount of alcohol in it. So an 8-ounce cup may have 4 shots of alcohol in it, where one person would say, I had 1 drink. But the reality is you had 4. And so when you're measuring your tolerance for alcohol, you say, well, I can tolerate 2 drinks. Well, if you had 2 of those 4-shot alcohol drinks, you're thinking you had 2, and the reality you had 8. So you may not be experienced with that much alcohol in your system, and therefore you make decisions when you're impaired.
Oh, wow, that's a big difference. So how can a student protect themselves when they go to a party?
You know, in terms of alcohol, is measure your own alcohol. If you're going to drink a beer, you drink your beer from the one you opened. And then again, when you're having cups, you know, a lot of the establishments in our community have big beers. and then when they say, okay, I had one big beer. Well, one big beer is 32 ounces. So it's not just one drink of alcohol, you know, it's several drinks of alcohol within one. So those big beers, they're not really one beer, they're several beers. So you've got to take those into consideration when you're making your decisions after drinking.
Okay, well, thank you for being here with us and just really explaining that for us. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, a look at some interesting campus events.
Look at me, I'm so cute and cuddly. I'm also very charming. I'll tell you what you want to hear and sweep you off your feet. I'm also spontaneous, maybe a little erratic at times. I take risks most people wouldn't, but that makes me fun. I'm also very persuasive. I can convince you to do something you'd never dream of doing. And you'll love my stories. I usually stretch the truth a little bit, but you'll believe me because I'm such a good liar. I'm never wrong, and I never feel guilty. I always win, but just look how cute and innocent I look. I can fool you, your parents. I can even fool your friends. Trust me.
Who is going to help safely feed 9 billion people in the year 2050? Who will design sustainable cities that can flourish? Who is going to shed light on dark matter and origins of the universe? Where will we teach the scientists who will engineer our future? At one of the world's top research universities, Kansas State University.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Nick Wall.
And I'm Sean Fry. Kansas State University's Coordinating Council is hosting the annual International Week.
Channel 8 News reporter Yumiko Liu is here to fill us in on all the events happening around campus.
Thank you. There are so many events during International Week, it's hard to decide which one to visit.
International Coordinating Council is proud to present the 8th Annual International Week this month. Every spring semester, ICC cooperates with a great number of international student organizations to organize a week of celebration and exhibition of culture, fashion, music, dance, food, and language all over the world.
And Christianity is not really popular because,
International Week is one of my favorite weeks of the entire year. It gives all of our international students an opportunity to showcase their international cultures and share it with all the other international students and all the U.S. students and faculty and staff on campus.
ICC held the very first International Week in 2006. Events and activities include cultural exhibition, dance lessons, talent show, international movies, and so on. The exhibition with each country's characteristics attract lots of students and let them know more about different cultures.
I think International Week is really exciting. It gives our students an opportunity to show their own cultures and to share it with the U.S. students on campus. And we really hope that the U.S. students break away from their own culture to experience some international cultures this week.
There are still events to see. Tomorrow, there are dance lessons in the Union Courtyard from 5:30 to 8 p.m. And Friday, there is a talent show in Fountain Hall at 7 p.m.
Hey, Sean, you ready for some dance lessons?
You know, I can cut a little rug, Nick. I think it's you that needs the lessons.
Maybe. Thanks, Yumiko.
U.S. presidents, prime ministers, and military generals have all been presenters of previous Landon lectures. NCAA governance, conference realignment, and the enterprise of collegiate athletics were the unique topics for the latest Landon lecture. Former Texas and K-State Athletic Director Delos Dodds, Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby, K-State Athletic Director John Curry, ESPN President John Skipper, and K-State President Kirk Schultz. A dream panel for any sports fan. A popular talking point during the lecture was whether or not student athletes should be paid. The panel was unanimously against the idea, but stopped short of saying that there aren't changes that shouldn't be made to the current structure of the NCAA.
There are rules now that abstractly regulate the game, but they don't seem to make sense. And I mean, it seems to me, Kirk, when these things come out, they've got to make people feel good about this.
In addition to speaking at the Landon Lecture, Skipper, along with ESPN Vice President of Communications Mike Soltis and Curry, spoke at the K-State Alumni Center to a group of students from the A.Q. Miller School of Journalism and Mass Communications. There, Skipper and company talked to the students about applying for jobs and internships, as well as a wide range of topics regarding collegiate athletics. Among the people in attendance at the Landon Lecture was K-State head basketball coach Bruce Weber, who was praised by Bowlesby as one of the best coaches in the business.
And K-State Open House took place on April 5th, opening up its campus for the community and prospective students. People had an opportunity to explore the 250 majors, 475 campus clubs, and walk through the 9 different colleges on campus. The K-State singers performed, students worked on ice sculptures, kids played on inflatables, and some participated in a Buffalo Wild Wings eating contest. And this was only some of the entertainment and fun that happened on campus. And K-State's annual event had another successful year. And there are many different types of competition when you go to college. Some are with notebooks and pencils, others get a little bit more involved. K-State's Greek system was volunteered as tribute in Old Stadium this Monday, kicking off Greek Week. Chapters invoked Katniss Everdeen as they dueled in the arena, fired arrows, tested their strength, and raced chariots. In the end, rain was the only victor. Instead of racing to the chariots, Greeks raced to escape the downpour. The festivities will continue all week, including a retweet challenge where the house that receives the most retweets gains the most points, and Greeks Got Talent.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up next, a visit from the Sunset Zoo.
And later in the show, sports and weather.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat, study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count, especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Judy. Well, I don't know what can I say.
Julie.
And we're joined now by Julie Ladd from the Sunset Zoo.
Who'd you bring with us today, Julie?
Well, this is a barred tiger salamander. Her name is Sally. This is a pretty interesting animal because they're actually native to pretty much the entire state of Kansas. They're found throughout the whole state.
Why are you wearing gloves to handle that salamander?
Well, a salamander is an amphibian, and amphibians are notoriously known for having very delicate, pretty sensitive skin. They actually breathe through their skin and can even drink water through their skin. So their skin happens to just kind of absorb anything that's in the air or on the surfaces that it's touching. So it's really important that we just keep our amphibians at the zoo as healthy as possible. So just keeping them safe and from getting any kind of toxins that could be on my fingers into her skin.
That makes sense. Now, you say it's an amphibian. Now, what kind of environments do you find them in Kansas? Are they in lakes or ponds or whatever?
It kind of depends on the amphibian that you're talking about, frogs, toads, salamanders. This, of course, is a salamander, and you can see the skin is kind of shiny and kind of moist. So they do like to live in wet environments. Typically, salamanders like this, you're not going to actually see them. They like to live underground in moist soils, under rocks. But they come out this time of year for breeding. So if you're curious about finding them, go search at nighttime on a rainy night and you might see them.
All right. Thank you very much for bringing Sally with us, Julie. We appreciate having you on.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks a lot. We've got Lindsay McNary here to tell us if warm weather will last until the weekend.
Hey boys, how's it going?
It's going all right, Lindsay. How about you?
Doing really good. Now let's take a quick look outside so we can get right to that wonderful weather we've been seeing. Right here you're seeing beautiful green full grass. And just look at the green that is there. Everything is that color, and it is absolutely beautiful. I can't tell you how glad and how much we needed this day. However, is that weather going to hold up? Let's take a look at our national temperatures. All right, so across the United States, we've got plenty of gorgeous weather coming through. Over here towards California, we're getting really hot and hotter as the temperatures start to hit the higher 80s and even up into the 90s. However, we've got some little precipitation up towards Washington. On the East Coast, we've got rain showers as well as spring weather actually acts the time it's supposed to this year and enacts on the East Coast. Now let's take a look at the national map. Like I said, spring showers on the East Coast, up in Washington, and we've got colliding warm and cold fronts creating a lot of severe weather over on the East Coast. Now let's move to the Kansas map. All right, we got Manhattan is looking great. So if you've got a barbecue grill, make sure you go outside and get it and get cooking. But make sure to be safe as we've got red flag fire burning warnings all through the Midwest. 5-day forecast, 79 we're looking at for today. As we move into Thursday, we've got a high of 70. Then we go on Friday to 75. And then as we keep going throughout the week, guess what? It's rain showers, thunderstorms. We hit 79 as the high on Saturday, and then we hit the rain on Sunday. But I would urge you to go outside today if you can, as the weekend is looking pretty rainy. Thanks, Nick. Sean, I'll give it to you.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Looks like it's going to be another weekend of bad weather for Aggieville at night.
And we'll be right back with a look at sports.
Mainly for the family atmosphere.
Once you're here, you're greeted with a smiling face. You could step onto K-State's campus and feel that without even talking to anyone, that it's welcoming.
The administrators and faculty, they remember your name.
Anywhere you go, someone's there to help you and to smile at you.
Half of campus is going to be wearing purple, and you know that there's that K-State pride.
It's really evident that you can do something and you can be somebody and you can really define yourself here.
I'm a part of the campus.
K-State to me is home.
And that kind of gives me a sense of place.
Who is going to help safely feed 9 billion people in the year 2050? Who will design sustainable cities that can flourish? Who is going to shed light on dark matter and origins of the universe? Where will we teach the scientists who will engineer our future? At one of the world's top research universities, Kansas State University.
Kenya, Africa. A baby elephant is trapped in a water hole. Researchers rush to the rescue, and a 400-pound baby elephant and its agitated, dangerous mother are finally reunited. One of those researchers is K-State alumnus Mark Sowers. While at K-State, he used telemetry to study bison on the Konza Prairie Biological Station, a skill he now uses to study and help elephants, his lifelong dream. That's the Wildcat way.
And Matt Harrison joins us now to give us all the latest on sports.
Matt, who's been driving the bus lately for K-State?
We've had a lot going on, especially with our baseball team. They had a very huge clash with KU this weekend. 2 strong pitching performances weren't enough for the K-State baseball team over the weekend. After a blowout on Friday, KU took the last 2 games, handing K-State its first Big 12 series loss at home since April 2012. It was also the first time the Jayhawks beat K-State in a baseball series since 2006. On Friday, K-State beat KU behind a complete game shutout by Levi Mavoris. They got 5 runs in the first inning, including freshman Tanner DeVinny's first career home run. A 3-run shot to right that was all Mavoris needed as he allowed just 3 hits in the 10-0 win. Miscues plagued K-State on Saturday. 3 K-State errors led to a run in the 4th as the Jayhawks built a 6-1 lead heading into the bottom of the 8th. K-State opened the inning with 2 runs before loading the bases for Ross Kivett with 2 outs. But he grounded for short for a fielder's choice to end the threat as KU won 6-3. Game 3 was close but no cigar. The rubber match Sunday saw Jayhawks starter outduel Nate Greep. Neither offense could muster as much as Duncan gave KU a series-clinching 2-1 complete game win. Well, guys, I mean, it's pretty intense. But we were successful in other sports, such as tennis, for example. But yeah, back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate that update. You know, it was a shame to see K-State lose that series to KU.
And be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Since opening its doors, the International Animal Health and Food Safety Institute has had literally thousands of people take advantage of the facilities and academic programs that are being developed. K-State Olathe offers a unique opportunity for scientists from industry and academia to work side by side, focused on addressing real-life issues and training the workforce. Progress is being achieved. K-State Olathe, now open for business.
Choose your direction and navigate the road to success. Discover opportunities. Make connections. Reach your destination. Earn a degree online from Kansas State University. Choose your direction. We'll help navigate.
Well, that's all we have time for this show. Matt, thanks for sports, and Lindsay, thanks for those weather updates.
It's always a pleasure, boys. Make sure to stay outside and stay warm, especially if you have a barbecue grill. And Nick, I'm sure you'll be outside as well. So if anyone's going out to Pillsbury, you can join me this weekend. Even though it'll probably be a little bit rainy, that's all the time I'm going to have this weekend, though.
All right, and you can find Channel 8 News on Facebook at Channel 8 News KSU. For all the Channel 8 News team, thanks for watching.
Join us next week for another episode of Channel 8 News. Guys, I'm from Hawaii, so aloha, Manhattan.